Starlink Report.
What is it?
The Starlink Report.
This is the Starlink Report for June 22nd, 2020. I'm Hewie Poplock. SpaceX is applying to provide high-speed internet services to Canadians living in the remote area by beaming it to them via the company's network of satellites, according to Joe Skipper of Reuters News. The Elon Musk company applied with Canada's telecom regulator, the Canadian Radio, Television and Telecommunications Commission, or CRTC, for what's known as Basic International Telecommunication Services, or BITS, a license for it. That's a requirement for any company that wants to offer what the CRTC calls telecommunications traffic between Canada and any other country. Getting a BITS license could mean that they may try to offer more services later. For now, their focus is on high-speed internet beamed directly into rural homes and businesses via the company's existing network of so-called near-Earth satellites. Starlink is planning to offer the high-speed internet services in Canada and the U.S. later this year before rapidly expanding to near global coverage of the populated world by 2021, the company says on its website. CRTC data suggests that as many as 40% of Canadians who don't live in major urban areas do not have access to high-speed internet, and what is available is often prohibitively expensive. For those of us in the U.S., thanks to the latest launch, SpaceX now has over 500 internet satellites in orbit. With this advance, the company is now inviting people to apply to become Starlink beta testers. The June 13th launch placed 58 Starlink satellites into space, giving us 540 Starlink satellites in orbit. Elon Musk states that SpaceX needs about 400 Starlink satellites to provide minor coverage and 800 for moderate coverage. The initial Starlink mega constellation will have 12,000 satellites, but that's far from the end. In late May, SpaceX applied to the FCC to launch as many as 30,000 Starlink satellites. If you're accepted for the beta, you can expect to get a user terminal with a flat disk antenna which measures 0.48 meters in diameter. Musk describes these as looking like a little UFO on a stick. Your terminal's antenna will self-direct itself for the best satellite signals. And 0.48 meters, for those of us who don't think in terms of meters, that's a little bit less than 19 inches. It's very important that you don't need a specialist to install it, Musk said, according to Ars Technica. There's just two instructions, and they can be done in either order. Point at the sky, plug in. By late summer or early fall, there may well be about 800 satellites ready to deliver broadband internet to Americans living in the northern contiguous states. It's not known how far south the initial beta coverage area extends, and I'm sure Florida probably will not be included in that beta. Starlink will offer speeds of up to a gigabit per second at latencies from 25 milliseconds to 35 milliseconds. HughesNet, the grandpa of satellite internet, offers download speeds of up to 25 megabits per second and upload speeds to 3 megabits per second. Upload speeds most likely will be far slower than its 1 gigabit per second download speed, is what is predicted for the Starlink. It probably won't be able to do too much better than a geostationary satellite's 3 megabits up. Still, that's a usable speed. The term latency refers to any of the several kinds of delays typically incurred in the processing of network data. A low latency network connection experiences small delay times, while a high latency connection experiences long delays. Latency, SpaceX 15 milliseconds to 25 milliseconds. The HughesNet over 500 milliseconds. That's about a half a second in people time. The Good Earth bound broadband gives you latency of about 8 milliseconds to 20 milliseconds. So you should be able to run video conferencing and play high-end video games using Starlink. More recently, Musk tweeted, initially you can expect around 20 milliseconds. It's designed to run real-time competitive video games. Version 2, which is at a lower altitude, could be as low as 8 millisecond latency. If all goes well with the beta, Musk has said Starlink will cost about $80 per month. It won't be available everywhere, though, at first. The US and Canada will get the service first. Eventually, it will go global. But, this is a big but, if you live in cities or suburbs where you can get 100 megabits internet service, odds are you may not be eligible for Starlink. As SpaceX tweeted, Starlink's goal will deliver high-speed broadband internet to locations where access has been unreliable, expensive, or completely unavailable. The internet has dramatically reshaped human civilization, and access to it is considered by many to be a basic human right. Still, only a little bit more than half of the global population has internet access, with poorer and rural communities particularly impacted by this digital divide. Having internet accessibility can improve everything from entertainment to work to education and healthcare. But 41.3% of the world doesn't have access to the internet at all. And that's where SpaceX comes in with Starlink, which is getting very close to launching their service. And on Tuesday, June 23rd, SpaceX will launch the 10th batch of 60 satellites for SpaceX's Starlink broadband network. 2 Earth observation microsatellites will launch as rideshare payloads on this mission. The launch window is set for 5:58 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, that's this coming Tuesday, June 23rd. And that is
The Starlink Report. The Starlink Report.